Welcome everybody to the internet smarks of wrestling. My name is Quentin.
I'm Tony.
This is Tony, and tonight we've decided to watch the WWE's first their second gimmicked pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell. And hell it was watching it.
Why? Why? Okay.
Go ahead, buddy. It's okay. It's cool, man.
The opening match? Really? And no...
Well, huh?
Okay. Tell me if this makes sense to you guys, because if you guys haven't seen it yet, and I'm going to try to get this online as soon as possible, but would you book The Undertaker and the Curtain Jerker in a Hell in a Cell for the world title? I wouldn't.
But CM Punk, I would.
Alright, I deserve that.
Hey, the choice of a new generation, our champion.
It's not over. Survivor Series. Take my word for it. But that's not even the start. That's not even the end of it. The whole pay-per-view. I mean...
You know what? Not for nothing, New Jersey. But really, you guys could have reamed them.
Yeah.
Instead of just sitting there.
When Mike Chioda gets the biggest pop of the night, or the best chant of the night, I start to worry. And I start to really realize, maybe the reason why they don't come back to the area isn't necessarily because we're asshole fans that like give them heat when they give us boring matches. No, maybe the reason why they don't want to come around the area is because A, we don't pop for great matches like the triple threat match, or B, we pop for freaking Mike Chioda. Like,
well, I would pop for Nick Patrick.
it's not funny.
Moving along, so our second match of the evening was Dolph Ziggler going one-on-one with the Intercontinental Champion John Morrison. And again, you know what? That was a fairly good match. On a star rating of 1 to 5, I'd give that a 3.5. Ziggler's really good. His move arsenal has weapons, except for his lame-ass finisher. He needs to find a new finisher. And Morrison is just a complete wrestler. And as I said, he retained... Which, also, by the way, starting from the bottom of the card, which was CM Punk. And The Undertaker winning the World Heavyweight title. So that made us 1-1.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then to continue on, next came Mickie James versus Alicia Fox, and sure enough, the crowd breaks for beer. Sure enough,
Thank you.
I broke for a fucking pizza.
I didn't drink this stuff.
And Mickie James went over, putting us at 2-1. But you know what? I want to take a moment here because we noticed at that point in the match that there were signs in the crowd that actually got a good chuckle out of us. So guy who had the "Where's my ECW main event?" thumbs up for you. Same goes for the guy who had the Christian sign.
Yeah, really. We could have had Christian versus Regal, and I think that would have put more wrestling on the card. And despite the fact that they even cut out the women's title, which is supposed to be the definitive WWE title, not some diva butterfly title, is completely ridiculous.
Oh, but we had to make room for a sudden change on the card, didn't you hear?
Oh.
Because apparently Drew McIntyre, the savior that Vince McMahon discovered and brought to SmackDown, had to have his debut match with R-Truth. And you know what? I went to the bathroom and that match was already over by the time I came back. I didn't know I didn't know what was going on.
My face was not definitely paying attention to the match. I was looking around the room at the Green Lantern, playing with Sabretooth. And
in other words, it was a snooze fest of a match. And you know what?
And that was for whoever in the arena wanted another beer.
So at that point, we're still at 1-1.
But, going off track here, you know, after Alicia Fox and Mickie James, we had the tag team title match.
Yes.
Now,
something that made me happy.
I have to say that I'm very happy to see that Chris Jericho and the Big Show continue to dominate with the unified tag team titles, and they are proving why they are the best tag team in wrestling right now, and probably for a long time.
Dominant force.
Definitely is. You know the last longest reigning tag team champions was Paul London and Brian Kendrick?
That's sad.
And they were good, but they're both future endeavored.
Yeah. Oh, props to the guy who had the sign that says my previous sign was future endeavor. Seriously, you know what? That's gonna be a reoccurring theme around here.
Future endeavor.
A future endeavor.
I like that.
We like that.
We could work on that.
We could work on that. But to pick up on that match brought us to 2-1 with Big Show's devastating right hook on Rey Mysterio. Like seriously, yo, I did not ever think a punch would ever be a great finisher, and Big Show has proven me wrong. And you know what? Big Show has finally found his niche. I'm happy for him.
Yes.
He's a great muscle man for Chris Jericho.
The Big Show is finally being booked the way the Big Show should be booked, and I'm glad that he's more of a giant, you know. And I have to give credit actually to Paul Heyman, who's been saying that for the longest time, even when he was with the E, that the Big Show should be booked as a giant. And you'd work around that to make that character believable.
And there are plenty of spots throughout that match that just cemented that.
And you know what? And right now, they are doing that to the Big Show. And with Chris Jericho as his tag team partner, they make an ultimate combination of muscle and mouth. So, Chris Jericho and Big Show, that brings us to
2-1.
2-1.
Which now brings us to another bit of a surprise, which was John Cena and Randy Orton showing up in the middle of the card.
And not... Okay, well... This whole card really threw us through a loop as we sat there.
They curtained your Taker!
Nah, I just gave it to Punk. But what happened is that I thought that John Cena and Randy Orton had more fire going in and could have had a little more intensity, but the fact that they dropped their blade and it actually seemed like that they were going to plan on blading completely spoiled the whole thing. Just saying.
They were going to give us blood.
They were going to give us blood. They were going to give us actually something decent. And then you know what? It just got all botched up from there. They dropped the blade. I think John Cena loses a fingernail somewhere in there. And out of all things, Randy Orton hits a picture-perfect RKO, but hits a nip of a headshot, the punt.
And that wins them the match.
I blinked.
Yeah. I thought he whiffed. I really thought Cena moved out of the way. And then when I saw that, I was like, no, I had to rewind it. And I can't believe it was a 3 count. And that brought us to 2-2.
That did bring us to 2-2. Bullshit, by the way. That ending was garbage. And I suspect better from John Cena and Randy Orton.
I remember you saying something about in the last podcast about a certain man bringing a certain belt to WrestleMania. Do you want to owe anyone an apology for that one?
Can't see me, internet.
Okay, so we were wrong a few times, but there was a match that was going to be a deciding factor in the whole decision making of the show.
This is true.
And I believe that match is coming up right now.
Yes.
Which was a triple threat for the United States World Title.